everybody! I'm here today to tell you how to tell if your engine is burning oil. In this video, I will be going over 5 things that will allow you to know if your engine is burning oil. In my old car, the engine was burning a decent amount of oil, so I became well aware of the signs and symptoms of an engine that burns oil. So let's get right into the video, okay? Number 1 is a low oil level with no visible oil leak. So if you notice that you have a low oil level, let's say you have your oil topped up, you have your oil changed, you know that your oil level is good. You go back a couple weeks later to check your oil, you know, regular little minor check that you might do from time to time, and you notice that the oil level is low, but there's no leak, okay? Engines are meant to burn a little bit of oil, but not a significant amount. So if you notice that there's a low oil level with no leak, then that means that the oil is escaping in another way. So it might be a sign that your engine is burning oil, okay? Number 2, if you see dark smoke, specifically it looks like blue smoke, to be honest with you, has like a bluish tint. If you see dark smoke or blue smoke coming from the exhaust, that's a sign that oil is leaking. It's getting into, it's not necessarily leaking, but it's getting through into the combustion process. Okay, when your engine combusts, there's not supposed to be oil that goes through with the combustion process. The oil is meant as a lubricant for the pistons in the cylinders and so forth. But with that being said, if you notice that there's blue smoke or dark smoke coming from your car's exhaust, then that's a huge sign that your engine might indeed be burning some oil, okay? Number 3 is dark staining over the engine base. So basically, if you notice that it's normal to have a little bit of staining over the engine bay, but if you notice that there's a significant amount of dark staining over the engine bay, it usually means that there's oil being burned up and then it's leaking through somewhere, okay? There can be many things that can happen. You might have a blown head gasket potentially. There's tons of things that can cause this, but if you notice that your engine bay is extremely dirty, then it could mean that your car is burning oil. It could also mean that you're just revving up the engine a little bit too high, okay? So if you see a really dirty and oily, specifically oily, not just dusty, but oily engine bay, that's a huge sign. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4 is you smell the oil being burned. Now, oil has a specific smell, obviously. If you smell something weird constantly when you're driving your car, that's a sign that it might be oil being burned. But specifically what you want to look for is if you actually smell something being burned at really high RPMs. If you're revving your car at high RPMs and you smell something being burned, that's a huge sign that it could be that your car is burning oil. And usually there's not many things that can cause that smell other than oil being burned. So that's why I always say to people, if you smell something really weird being burned at high RPMs, that's a sign that it's likely going to be oil. Last but not least is number 5, which is dark staining over the exhaust pipe area. This is something that I saw in my old car. It was the first sign that I noticed that my car might have been burning oil. I wasn't paying attention to the oil level. I wasn't looking at the engine bay all the time, but I noticed on my bumper over the exhaust pipe there was a little bit of dark staining. And that dark staining basically signified to me that oil was being burnt and sent out through the exhaust pipe, okay? It's relatively normal for your exhaust pipe to be darker and get stained, but when you start seeing it on the bumper, it means that there's oil being burned. And it's pre-blue smoke days, meaning like it's before your car's burning enough oil that it's going to send out dark smoke everywhere, but it's enough that you notice it on the bumper. That's a huge telltale sign. And that's it. That is how to tell if your engine is burning oil. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.